Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Just like to first up once again just say a massive thanks to everybody who liked the last video, everybody who viewed the last video, and a big welcome to all the new subscribers to the channel. Massive thanks, you know, once again, pretty overwhelmed with the amount of views. Yeah, really do appreciate the attention, guys. Thanks again. In this video is a bit of an exciting one for me personally. I finally am going to move my VJ charger out of the shed where I've had it since. I've had this car since 1997, which was basically when when we built this shed way back when. This was basically the first car that came into the shed, and it sat in the corner over here, in this corner right here where I've got my small workshop as such. It sat in this corner, and this is what it actually looked like. As you can see, these are Polaroids, so you can sort of see how long ago this was. I'll try and set them up so they're not too much of a shadow, but that's the car there, in this corner right here, as you can see. Once again, I'm trying not to get the shadow on it. That's it there. As you can see, it had a CM front clip on it, which is not correct. This car was an 80s tragedy. It had the CM front clip on it. It had XBXC seats, Falcon coupe seats in it. What else did it have? The steering column that was in it was incorrect. It had a late model CM style steering column in it, which actually had a I don't know why, but it had a column shift auto on it. I don't know whether the guy that I got it off of had intentions of putting a bench seat in it or what. You know, the engine bay when I got it wasn't painted. So basically speaking, for those who are new to the channel, I'm telling this as well, I was saying this as well. Basically from here forward, I've painted and done everything myself, and once again we put it back to the VJ front, and I've even put my old HEMI plates on there, so that's a bit of an achievement to get them finally on the car. So yeah, once again, like I said, I have done everything on this car myself. What I haven't known what to do or how to go about, I've learnt and done. I've built basically 3 other cars in the meantime of this one, of building this one. So I've built my red turbo Centura, my E55 charger that I put back together, and also leftovers, which have all featured in the channel, and now this one will be featuring a lot more in the channel too. What else is there? Yeah, so once again, like I said, I'm pretty happy with what I've achieved, because the car hasn't actually left this property. I've done everything on the car myself. The only time that it's left this property was when it went recently over to Stuart's at Select Auto Electrical. He did a magnificent job with all the auto electrical, really happy with that. Once again, you know, 110% as always. So now we're going to send it over to the, now it's going over to the, to see Brett at Southern Steering and Suspension, to have a wheel alignment done, have them go over all the underneath the car, because I struggle to do that sort of stuff these days, with my back injury, etc. So they're going to go under the car for me and go over it all when they do the wheel alignment, etc., and a couple other little odd jobs that I need them to do for me that is sort of in their expertise as such, which is not mine. And once again, when it comes to braking and that sort of stuff, you want it to be pretty tickety-boo. So, you know, hence the reason I send that sort of stuff like the auto electrical to the professionals. And so electrical and brakes, I just don't have anything to do with that. So everything else, like I said, I've done on the car. The transmission was built by Dave at DRW's. That's full manual reverse pattern with a cheater valve body and their big converter, etc. Same as what's in the red car, etc. 904, so that was built, but everything else on the engine, I can't take claim to that. That is a Jason Maros built 265 HEMI that I had in my old black car. And I know I'm going to get asked this a lot, and I've actually been asked it just the other day, is this the old black car? No, it's not the old black car. My old black race car, I sold that many moons ago to a young fella who hopefully will get it back into its prime like it should be. So yeah, so once again, like I said, I'm going to get into the car today and or this morning, and I'm hopefully going to drive it out of the shed under its own power. Like I said, which I think is a bit of achievements considering that I've done everything myself. And I'll confess, I'm not actually a mechanic. So if any of you think that I'm a mechanic or some sort of mechanical specialist, etc., yes, I did do my time as a differential specialist at a diff shop for 3 years that I started off on the tools, and then due to, you know, I don't know why, but my boss was never really there much. So basically, I ran the shop as such in the long run, and I was there for over 3 years. So I basically classify that as an in-shop trade or apprenticeship that I did there. So, you know, I went from doing, you know, the odd jobs, etc., through to doing full diff builds, etc. And as everybody knows, I ran my own diff shop for quite some time too, until my back injury got the better of me. And that's just all I'm going to say about that. So yeah, and going back to what I am by trade, I'm actually a cabinet maker, shop fitter by trade. So, you know, if any of you think you can't do this sort of stuff, well, get on YouTube like you are now and learn how people do shit, and you know, you yourself can end up with something like this. You know, I'm not going to say it's not hard. I'm going to say I've learned a lot due to my back injury, etc. It's taken me a lot longer to do things in the last 5 years or so, but saying that, you know, have a go, you know, just have a go, and you know, what's the worst you can do? Practice on something, and then, you know, just have a go, and you know, you can end up with something like this too, you know. Once again, I'll say straight up, I'm no guru, just gave it a go. So yeah, so I'll stop babbling on, and I'll get my wife onto the camera, and I reckon, like I said, next I'll start it up, and I'm going to move it out of the shed under its own power, and yeah, it might be a couple of tears. No, just kidding. But yeah, it is a bit emotional. Yeah, I'm a bit of an emotional person, as you can probably gather. So yeah, no, pretty cool. Like I said, I'll stop waffling on, and we'll get it started and drive it out the shed. Okay, so what I think I'll do while I'm waiting for my wife to come out and be camera lady is I think I'll just start it up and put a bit of temperature in it before I drive it out the shed. This car hasn't been started since the last video, so I don't know, we'll see how she goes when I checked the fuel tank to see how much fuel it had in it. It was basically bone dry, so yeah, this should be interesting. We'll just wait for the old fuel tank to heat up, and then so one stage 2, and there's number 3. And once again, you don't have to wait for this to, you don't have to wait for it to heat up, but it does help with the longevity of the O2 sensor. I'll just close that door because I have heard of people having mishaps with that sort of thing. Make sure she's in neutral. All right, let's see how she goes. She wanted to go. It's a bit rough. There we go. Now I'd go as far as to say it had some pretty shitty dried out fuel in there, because now she's come back to where it was, where it should be, around the 80, 90s. Yeah, so no, that had some, as you can hear, that's beautiful now. But yeah, that just had some, like I said, all the fuel had dried out in it. I don't keep a lot of fuel in it for that reason, because it just turns to shit. You're better off having fresh. So fresh fuel's coming through there now. As you can see, that's just beautifully AFRs for cold, that is. Good oil pressure, etc. So yeah, I'll just, like I said, I'll just put a bit of temperature in it before I drive it out the shed. I mean, let's face it, we all love the sound of the HEMI. When I had this engine in my old race car, I never ran unleaded in this engine. I always ran racing fuel 100 that I used to buy from the Shell service station in a red drum, 20 litres at a time. And yeah, like I said, I never ran crap unleaded in this, and unfortunately now that's sort of all that's available. To run it on the street, because as we all know, if you run exotic fuels on the streets, etc., they'll do you, and the last thing that you want is a fine from the EPA. Trust me, that's the last thing you want. Yeah, so all right, I'll just get a bit of heat into it, and then I'll hand the camera over to my beautiful wife, and I'll drive it out the shed, see what happens. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of got a brake pedal, so I know the rear brakes need adjusting. Hence the reason it's going to the specialist. And like I said, Brett's awesome at what he does. He did all my silver charger. He did all the finishing off of the brakes on that, and some other bits and pieces too. So yeah. Alright, I'll stop waffling on and hand the camera over to my wife. I mean, now come on, you gotta love the sound of that.
guess we'll chock the wheels and yeah, wait for Chris to come around, and we'll put it on the tilt tray and send it over to Brett and the gurus at Southern Steering and get them to weave their magic on it now. Yeah, once again, pretty happy to have it move under its own steam. That was first time that I've actually driven the car under its own steam since I've owned it since 1997-ish. So yeah, pretty stoked with that achievement. So yeah, all right, we'll chock the wheels and get it on the tilt tray when Chris comes. This car hasn't seen the light of day much since I've owned it. So yeah, to have it out in the sunlight, it's yeah, like I said, don't get out in the sunlight very often. Will be soon. Should be getting seeing a lot more sunlight, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean the colour match, don't get me started on it, it's not a very good colour match, but anyways, it's, you know, she's a good 10 footer, that's all it is a good 10 footer. Looks alright from 10 foot away. Cool. Alright, wait for Chris to pop around now. Alrighty, so we've got the best tilt tray operator in the south on the job, Chris from LSK Towing. Chris is a guru, he's freaking used to do V8 supercar out at the Adelaide Clipsaw as well. Because his tilt tray is just a perfect little unit. So yeah, Chris is going to get that on the tilty for us and get it up to Brett's. All right. Hey Chris, like I said, he used to do all the running around at the V8 supercars when they had the Clipsaw here. He used to often see him picking up the total Falcons and Commodores, sitting at the end of turn 8, turn 9. Yeah, so yeah, we'll get this thing moving now. Okay, so a bit of an anticlimactic end to the video. Unfortunately, I did want to do some footage of the car, you know, me driving into Brett's and so forth, but they didn't really want to do any filming down there, so I'm pretty cool with that. I totally understand. So yeah, once again, I apologise about that, bit of an anticlimactic end to the video. But when I get the car, pick the car up, naturally we'll go for a drive in it. So yeah, so what I think I'll do now, now that I've got a whole heap of empty space here, I reckon what I'll do is I'll get old leftovers back in here, and with the help of my wife, pull the interior out of it again, and I reckon I'll, like I said, take advantage of the open space and be able to open up its wings, and I think I'll put some carpet in it and finish it off. And then what else I think I might do, I'll show a couple of tips there that I've learnt doing carpet. Once again, all learnt it off of YouTube. But I'll run through a couple of those things. I won't bore you with too much of that. And then I think what I'll do is I might put a T-piece on the turbo, and like I said, it's only running around about 3 pound boost at the moment. I wouldn't 3 to 5 pounds, so it's spiking about 5 pound, then it's bleeding off to about 3. So what I might do is put a T-piece on it, wind the boost up a little bit, and go for a bit of a drive with some carpet in there, and hopefully it'll be nice and a bit more supple and a bit more quieter in the car travelling along. So yeah, Once again, I do apologise for the anticlimactic end to the video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, or please subscribe so that you don't miss out on the next video. Like I said, I'll be doing a lot more car content, or that's all I'll really be doing now is car content, etc., and my cars and meets and so forth. So yeah, please subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, I think that'll do us for this video. Thanks for joining us once again, and hope to see you in the next video. See you then.